We are here with Sam from Interpol. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
How are you feeling being back in Mexico?
It's always great. Looking forward to playing tonight and over the weekend.
Yeah, you're going to be part of Tecate Supremo. How are you feeling about that? You're the main act in this festival this Saturday.
That's very exciting. Looking forward to it.
What's your favorite thing about playing for a Mexican crowd? Like, what do you love about Mexico every time you guys are here?
It's just the energy is amazing. It's Mexico is the home of the best audience for any kind of live performance.
Yeah, like people are so welcoming and they are just dancing and like getting involved, right, with the music.
Yeah, it's quite something.
And how is it different to be performed at a festival than at a separate show?
Well, a separate show is like the venue's yours. There's not a bunch of people around, and it's so much more intimate, really. Because if it's a headlining show, it's not going to be as big as like a festival stage. Thus, there'll be more intimacy, and you have more time, to kind of do what you want. You could be a little more varied in the set list, when it's just your crowd. So, festivals are great. It's a great way to, to connect with some fans that you might not have had the opportunity to do in the past. But there's nothing like a headlining show as well.
Yeah, and what can we expect from your show this Saturday at Tecate Supremo?
Well, there'll be some songs, 2 or 3 that haven't been heard in a long time. So I think the fans will be quite pleased.
Yeah, to see you again and to be singing these songs that, of course, it's a surprise, but this is gonna hype them up. I know it.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
And what can you tell me about the other side of Make Believe, that this record? I believe it's your first record in 5 years, isn't it?
The last one was Marauder, came out in 2019 or 18. So it was close to 5 years.
Close to 5.
The funny thing is, we ended the touring cycle for Marauder in November of 2019, and just a couple months later in the new year, the whole thing happened with COVID-19. But we started writing a new record right away, remotely. We started working on the songs from the other side of Make Believe during that time, and it kind of took a little longer, because we weren't in the same room together for a good portion of that. So it doesn't feel like it was that long in between records, but I guess it was, but we, from our perspective, we just kind of got busy with writing, because nobody could go anywhere. So it was just a good time just to start emailing files to each other, to work out what the new material will be. So we weren't necessarily kind of taking a leisurely break,
Yeah, like
so,
the whole world shut down, and like you said, like you were writing and writing. And how did that impact the record? Like you said, you weren't together, you weren't in the same room. How was this different? How does this impact the sound that you ended up going for, or the ideas that you had for the record?
well, the ideas kind of were dictated by the demos that were put together, which were basically files sent through the ether. I think the isolation, and not just what it does emotionally, but the fact of it, changes the temperament of the music. And I think it was good. It's the way the way we worked on the other side of Make Believe is how it turned out. It's a different temperament here and there for the band. Yeah, I think it was totally informed by that isolated process. For one, both Paul and I agreed, like, without like, loud drums or amps in a room, you can approach the feel of any given track a lot differently, because you're not battling, the other instruments in a small room. And that kind of gave yield to the way Paul sings on this record, and even the rhythmical approach to a lot of the songs was something that maybe wouldn't have occurred if we were together. So it did have a big impact on the overall sound of the songs.
I think I heard you point out like this record has a little bit of a more uplifting sound. Like, is that a consequence of like writing apart?
I think it probably so. Aside from at that point, from Paul's perspective, writing lyrics, I don't know if it was intentional, but you can garner more of a hopeful sense than like just totally hopeless or depressed. There was it's not that we changed and started writing pure pop songs, but definitely it didn't seem like too prudent to start to be complaining about the situation in a song, more or less looking to the end point.
Yeah.
Getting out on the other side of this fucking crazy global happening.
Yeah, like wanting to see the light and like.
Yeah, and it doesn't need to be like kind of la 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 la, kind of oblivious. It could still have a weight to it, and a sense of drama.
Yeah.
But it's not outright like my life sucks kind of thing. Yeah.
Do you have any personal favorite on the new record?
I like Into the Night a lot, and I think Mr. Credit is one of my favorites too.
And any favorite from the album to play live, like one that you are really excited to share with the crowd this week here in Mexico?
Yeah, there's a couple songs we haven't played in a while that we're going to throw into the set list, which I think people will be very pleased with.
We can expect big things from your set.
Yeah, songs that we haven't played in I don't know how long.
Yeah.
And a couple of which fans have approached me saying, "Why don't you play this song?" And it's like, oh, good question. I have no idea.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's going to be a great time. We can wait to see you again. And speaking of fans, I have a fan question sent by someone named Saye. And she wants to know if there's any dream collaborations that you have, like any possibilities of ever collabing with someone in the scene.
You mean the band as a whole?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're so autonomous, it's strange. I don't know. I think it'd be a thrill and kind of a crazy thing if we ever I don't know, collaborated with Nick Cave.
Oh yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah, I could see that, but who knows?
Yeah, let's see what the future has in store. Yeah. And also, if you had, this is another fan question, if you could make a record from any music genre, just go wild with your imagination, what genre would you go for? Is there any genre that you would like to explore that you haven't yet?
No, I'm pretty satisfied, actually. I mean, I think in a fantastical sense, adapting to, a symphony or, a big orchestra, and not with us playing, but just have everything kind of transposed for, you know, a lot of strings and brass and something crazy and over the top dramatic.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
otherwise, I mean, I'm quite satisfied just, you know, by virtue of like getting your songs remixed by somebody that you are into, or remixing somebody's stuff yourself, you know, so pretty satisfied there.
Great. And to end this, what message would you leave for your fans that are waiting for you this Saturday at Tecate Supremo?
Oh, it just, I can't thank you enough. It's impossible to ever express the gratitude we have for our fans in all of Mexico.
Thank you so much. We can wait to see you and have fun tonight at the rest of the shows. And we can wait for Tecate Supremo.
Awesome. Thank you.